Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our region's business, improving our economy, creating jobs, and strengthening communities. Innovation, collaboration, transformation, and the people making it happen. Join us as we take a closer look at our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, lessons learned in remaking post-industrial cities and what our region has been able to share with the world. Plus, social justice and education, the hard work that remains in our region to make sure that the quality of a child's education doesn't depend on his or her zip code. But first, PPG may be a global giant when it comes to coatings, but here in its hometown, the company's positioning itself as your friendly neighborhood paint store. PPG's new Paint Local campaign targets do-it-yourselfers across our region. It's a homegrown example of PPG's updated brand and its new retail presence in our region and everywhere. Brian Imes is a Vice President of Corporate and Government Affairs at PPG. Good to have you here. Welcome.
Glad to be here, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, so PPG's, you know, one of our old line companies. It's what, 130 years old, something like that?
Yeah.
But really bringing the brand deeper into the 21st century, I guess, right?
Yeah. So PPG, long history, of course, here. Our global headquarters have been in Pittsburgh for over 130 years, and this last 10 years, though, has been transformational for the company. We've done more than 30 acquisitions, several divestitures, have really changed our portfolio, where before we were less than half paint and coatings. Today, we're nearly 93% paint and coatings. So we thought, now is probably the right time to reshape the brand and look at really taking that brand to another level for PPG.
Well, I remember because PPG, you know, originally Pittsburgh Plate Glass, and then it was PPG Industries, and glass began to take a little bit of a back seat from a branding standpoint. Now it's just PPG, right? You even dropped the Industries part.
We did, yeah, we did. As part of the evolution of PPG, we thought more flexibility around just the PPG name, and really we wanted to emphasize the PPG logo that is really well known, the blue and white that has been part of our history for many decades, and we want to put more emphasis behind that. So we're rolling out very creative communications, especially here in Pittsburgh, to demonstrate the new meaning of the brand and really highlight the products, the Glidden paint, Olympic paint, PPG paints that are really driving the future for PPG.
Well, and it might surprise a lot of people who go to the local paint store and they've been buying Glidden, as you say, or Olympic, and until now, there never really was much of a PPG identity with any of it.
Right, and that's part of the brand strategy. There's a lot of equity over these years built up in PPG, so we wanted to have a more uniformed approach to how we go to market. So as you mentioned, you'll start to see the PPG logo on the front of the can. The Glidden is a great example that just rolled out in the Home Depot across the United States. Same actions will occur with Olympic, and then of course in our own PPG paint stores, we have our own branded products that in this market there are 16 of those stores. So whether you go to Walmart or the Home Depot, Lowe's, or the PPG paint stores, you'll start to see a larger presence for the PPG brand.
And you're rolling out a lot of this right here at home first, right?
We are, because we look at this, since it is our global headquarters, is really a great pilot test area for PPG, which is great because we get to introduce new marketing and brand campaigns and community efforts right here in our hometown. So we have more than 2,500 employees who live and work here or in the neighborhoods every day, and for them to be able to see, you know, the PPG brand come to life through product and marketing campaigns is really exciting for our employee base as well.
Well, I can see that. Do you think the concept of Paint Local is really meaningful to people who are painting these days?
We do, because one thing for sure about Pittsburgh is Pittsburghers are very prideful. I myself is a lifelong Pittsburgher. And so the idea is that if the people who live in this community know the local products, like Glidden and Olympic, that hopefully that taps into their local pride, and they're more likely to select a product from a hometown company like PPG versus a competitor that might be from out of state, let's say. So we're hopeful for that. So Paint Local kind of taps into that local pride that we're looking to really emphasize.
Do you think think you can take that concept to other markets where you have a strong manufacturing presence or whatever?
Yeah, so if you look at PPG, we have 46,000 employees around the world. We operate in 70 countries. We have hundreds of large manufacturing facilities that have a large presence in various communities, and we'll look to do the same thing. We learn from Pittsburgh and how things work in Pittsburgh, and then we'll roll it out across the U.S. and around the world, and that's what we're doing today with our new brand campaign.
Well, I know doing it in Pittsburgh is convenient, but a lot of companies, you know, they go to Peoria, right, if it plays in Peoria, or they go to Columbus to do this kind of market testing. You must feel that Pittsburgh's a good prospect, a good proxy for America.
Yeah, and now more than ever, Pittsburgh, of course, is a changing landscape, has a great growth and transformation story of its own, which in many ways mirrors our own transformation over these last 10 years. We feel really good about the makeup and the dynamic and the growth story of Pittsburgh itself, and it fits really well with the growing and changing brand of PPG.
Now, you talk about buying local products, and a lot of your R&D still happens here, right?
Yeah, we have our global research and development center 10 miles from downtown Pittsburgh in Allison Park. Over 300 scientists and engineers working on the next generation paint and coating technology. Having that research here, and we just completed an $8 million expansion of a new application lab at that center that actually can mirror testing that we do around the world. So we can mirror at that facility the temperature of the Sahara Desert or the dry, cold air of Greenland or some other cold air place. Very unique from a lab perspective, and one of the only labs like that in the world for PPG.
Well, you've come a long way. I remember years driving the Pennsylvania Turnpike when there was this big farm of PPG boards out there painted in different colors, weathering. I assume that's where the research was a long time ago, but now the science is incredible. Last thing I wanted to mention, about a year ago you launched this Colorful Communities effort, which is really getting the company into the communities.
Yeah.
How far along have you gotten with that?
Yeah, so we announced Colorful Communities a year ago in May. So we've completed now 16 projects. These projects include our employee volunteers. We donate our paint and coatings, and we donate resources. So far we've painted a school in Hazelwood, the Propel School down the road. But we've done projects in Europe, in South America, in Asia Pacific. It's a very unique and very special community outreach program, because when you transform a school that children use every day, and to see how that impacts their learning and the atmosphere that they're in every day, it's really special, and it's one that we're committed to. So we've committed $10 million over the next 10 years, and we hope to do 30 projects in 2016.
Really cool. It's amazing what a fresh coat of paint can do to improve attitudes.
True.
Brian Iams from PPG, thank you so much, and great to see all this being tested out right here in the hometown.
Thanks, Bill, and thanks again for having me on.
Sure enough. Next up, our region gets plenty of global press for its ongoing transformation. So what is it about Pittsburgh and remaking cities that keeps turning heads around the world? We'll meet one of the architects of a global conference that sought the answer. Stay with us.